Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and I'm checking out a 2019 Ram 1500 in the Laramie trim level. Now this is a crew cab and four-wheel drive, and the Laramie has a lot of options. This one has additional optional equipment as well. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Laramie is sitting on 275/55 Bridgestone tires with a raised lettering, looking nice. Now they're wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a two-tone gray, and then the alloy popping through there, all clear coated with a gloss finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Diamond Black Crystal Pearl Coat, and it has a layer of pollen on it, but you can still see the metal flake there in the paint. It's really impressive color. So just at a distance it kind of looks like a regular black color, but another thing is the finish is really nice. It has a really high gloss finish, and just very impressed with the color. Of course, with black you'll need to keep it clean, and it's pollen season right now, so that's a challenge. So you can see it has the 1500 HEMI in chrome here on the side of the hood, and then the Ram emblem is still here on the side. It has a color matching fender flares, chrome bumper, chrome grille, and the top portion is chrome of the grille that contours with the hood. And you notice it has this little portion there that accents the lines on the hood. Now this one has the parking sensors across the front. You even have one that is aiming like a 90-degree angle right here. Now the grille, you can see it has the chrome and the big Ram name. There's no crosshairs anymore, but it does have active grille shutters in there to keep the air from flowing in there when it's not needed. It goes around the vehicle instead of through the less aerodynamic engine bay. Now all the exterior lighting on this vehicle is powered by LEDs. So your fog lights are LEDs, of course, and reflectors, reflector housings, and the fog lights also serve as cornering lights as well. The headlights, the two on the outside is your low beams, and your high beam is there in the center. And then it has an accent lighting, LED accent lighting on the top and bottom. The daytime running lights you can turn on or off. They're actually part of the headlights. This is a dimmer version of the headlights. You can check out my night video if you want to see what the headlights look like and the pattern and all that stuff. So looking at the profile of the truck here, everything is that gloss black except for around the windows. You have a matte black trim, and then the center pillar is also matte black to blend in with the windows. The handles have a chrome portion as well as the side mirrors, and of course you have the chrome on the hood, and the wheels really blend in nice with the black color, in my opinion. Really sharp. But also this is a crew cab, so you can see the door is nice and big in the back. She'll go into that in more detail shortly. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed where you can keep it in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. Now it does have a physical key on the inside in case you need it. And it has these little grips here on the side. It's a very robust feeling, solid key. The Ram emblem on the other side. I really like the way it feels, and the size is not too bulky either. So it has some very useful buttons here. The lock and unlock buttons, remote start, and the ability to drop the tailgate. It's an assisted tailgate, so when you drop it, it's not going to slam down. And then you have a panic button as well. So let's go ahead and push this panic button. So it just beeps the horn and flashes the lights. As long as you have the key with you, it can be in a pocket, in a bag, as long as it's within a close proximity of the outside of this door, then you can lock it by pushing this button. You can unlock it by putting your hand behind the handle. So it's just as simple as walking up, put your hand behind the handle for just a fraction of a second. It'll go ahead and unlock, and you can pull the handle, and allows you access to the vehicle. On the driver's side, you also have a physical key location there as well. Looking on the inside of the passenger side door, mostly black, but it does have some like a smoked chrome accents here on the handle, the door handle to open it, and then around this cloth portion. Right in here is like a cloth, a soft to the touch cloth, and then around the speaker as well. It's soft to the touch up here, here, and here. The rest of the door is the hard plastics. Now you have the contrast stitching here and here in a French design in white. This passes through, goes through there. You have a pocket as well as down here. Now this part is a cup holder that's made out of a foam. It's very durable foam, and you can actually take it out just in case you want to clean it, put it back in. Pops out, or you could just utilize this space without the cup holder if you want to do that. There's the threshold. Now it does have a sill plate there, an aluminum sill plate, glossy one too. Tools for the spare tire are under the passenger seat. The passenger seat is powered, and it's able to go up, down, tilt, everything. It also has a full-way lumbar adjustment, and you can see it's accented with that chrome metallic accent. Now the seats they're black. Now they have this gray piping around the edge and the stitching. They're heated and ventilated seats with the really tight perforations right there in the center portion, and a suede trim right in here. So it's a black leather. You have the suede right in here, and on that side also here on the back right in there. It has Laramie embroidered in the back of the seat. You see it's suede in here as well. Very comfortable and high quality feeling seats. It does have some cloth here on the very side. So as you get in and out of the vehicle, this plastic part, if this was a vinyl or a leather, this plastic kind of digs into the side. So this cloth is supple enough to where it's able to protect that side and give it enough cushion to hopefully not wear into the side of the seat. Alright, so here's the floorboard, and I'll leave all the dimensions and everything and volumes and specs and all that stuff in the description, but so check it out. I mean, it's just wide open here. You do have some slight tapering right in here, but overall just a really spacious truck. Now the floor mats snap in place. These are like a Berber carpet type, but you can get the rubber mats, which I recommend. There's also handles on all four doors, including the driver's side, to get in the vehicle or out. Now the dashboard is a soft touch material with the contrast stitching here as well. And check it out, it has the Laramie badging right in here. But if you push this button, then this opens up and you have an illuminated storage pocket here with a felt lining. It blends nice. And then you have a locking glove compartment. It slowly goes down, and it has a felt lining as well. Okay, so checking out the back, you can see the crew cab door is massive, but also see how it completely, almost at 90-degree angle here, allows you access to the vehicle. So this is helpful with passengers, but also cargo, and I'll explain that in just a minute. It has a really good cargo capacity back here. Okay, so here's the inside of the back door, and it has a soft touch up here, here, and here. The pockets just like the front door basically. threshold and has a little sill plate there. It has storage space under the seat, which you can use that. And I'll show you that in just a minute. These seats flip up. But here's the seats. Now they do have the latch system for car seats. They have the same perforated surface, and then the suede accents there on the side, just like the front seats. The headrests fold down to add to your visibility when you don't have any passengers back here, or if you have a car seat. Now there's a center console here that flips down, armrest. Lift this up. This is all felt lined. You can prop up a cell phone right here. It's a little bit of an angle. You have the cup holders, and then this lifts up and locks in place. You release it with a strap, and you can see it has a usable seat here in the center with the latch system for car seats as well. Now you have pockets on the back of both of these seats. You also have the vents for your climate control here, as well as underneath the seat. And storage pocket right in here. USB ports, or actually USB charge ports and USB-C charge ports. You have 2 of each. That's nice. And then you also have a AC adapter, 115 volt, 400 watt AC adapter here. 3-prong. And check out the floor, it's completely flat. So there's no hump in the middle, so if you have a center passenger, they're gonna have just about as much room as the side passengers there. So let's say you're driving in the back seat and you want to get a little bit more comfortable, and you really want to recline these seats a little bit. Now you notice there's no room behind the seats to really recline them to get a different position, but you can actually do that. So there's a latch just under here, so you can pull, and you can pull the seat forward and recline the seat slightly. So you're going to give up a little bit of leg room, or actually knee room, but you will be able to make that little bit of a tilt there as you're just to kind of get more comfortable. So you can see a little bit different from that seat. Now it's in its most forward position. I had to put the camera down so you can see the difference between that seat and these 2 seats. So giving up a little bit of knee room if you have it to spare. Now that front seat's, I'm pretty sure it's all the way back, so it's not like you don't have any leg room. You still have leg room, but you do have this reclining kind of seat. It has a tilt basically, so it simulates a recline. So if you need to use this space for cargo instead of passengers, you can lift the seat up. So when you lift the seat up, you can do it on one side or the other, since it's a 60-40 split, while still maintain passenger space, and then add to your cargo. So not only do you have space under the seat with passengers, but also you can lift it up. You have this massive flat floor to put some stuff. This is helpful if you pick up something you don't want to put in the back of the truck for the weather or whatever, for safety reason or whatever. You can put it right in here. And that's why I say having the door open up as much as it does helps out with loading and unloading things. Now you can, of course, lift the other seat as well and get even more room. And speaking of cargo capacity, you can also put stuff in this little bin. There's one on each side, and it has a texture similar to the bumper. This lifts up like so, and you have this large bin. So this is actually larger than the previous years, but you can take it out, clean it, put it back in, and it secures down. You also have these tie downs, so when you have something in place back here, you can tie it down from one side to the other and keep it secure. And then the mat easily snaps in place, keeping it straight. Now Ram relocated the hooks. There used to be hooks back here, and if you hang your clothes from them, it would obscure the back glass so you can't see out. But they changed the hook to where now it's one on each side here and here. And you have some speakers back here as well. Taking a look at the back of the truck, has the dual exhaust tips there in chrome, matching the chrome bumper and the chrome ram, three-dimensional ram sticking out here, which is nice and big. And then you have the handle here, and it's actually a digital, electronic handle here. I'll show you that in just a second. Laramie badge, looking nice. And there's your trailer hitch with the 4- and 7-way outlets. Parking sensors across the back. And the backup camera is in the very center position, also a high position, you notice. Some vehicles have it in a low down on the bumper, which doesn't give you the same visibility as that higher position. Having it in the center, I think, is key, especially if you're using it to back up to trailers. It gives you a better view, in my opinion. Okay, so lowering the tailgate, there's actually 2 ways of doing it. So we can use the key here. So I double tap this button, it lowers the tailgate. That's one way. The second way is there's just a button under here. It's not a physical button, it's an electronic button. So you just push it gently and you can let it go down. So this one has the spray and bed liner. It also has the cargo management cleat system there, so you can attach a cleat anywhere on that rail. And then you have the fixed tie downs on each corner. You have a cargo light in the back of the bed. You also have LED cargo lights, one on each side here. And here, you can check out my night video so you can see how well illuminated the bed of the truck is at night. And I'll leave all the payload dimensions and all that stuff in the description. There's a little triangle there on the side mirror. There's one on each side, and that illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. It also illuminates when there's a vehicle coming from either direction when you're backing out of a parking space. That's the blind spot monitor, or it also serves as the rear cross traffic alert system. Now the sensor for that is here in the tail lights, right here. And it senses vehicles anywhere from the side mirror all the way to 1 car length behind the vehicle. Now it also has the ability to tell if you're pulling a trailer, so it doesn't give you false alerts. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's capless. No cap to worry about. It does have a seal here, and basically you don't have to get your hands dirty moving a cap or having a cap in your way. It's just a real simple way of pumping gas. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it up. As long as we have the key inside the vehicle, we can put our foot on the brake and hold it and push this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. So the floor mat's hook in place or snap in place, real easy to put in and out. There's your accelerator and brake pedal, plenty of leg room up here and knee room just everywhere, which I'll show you that when we actually get in the driver's seat. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch in this very center little place right in here. Just move it to the left, lift up. It doesn't take much effort, and it goes the rest of the way up by itself. Now there's a seal across the very front, and it's an insulated hood made out of aluminum, just like the tailgate. So it's very light. You see the latch right here. All right, so there's an insulated firewall, insulated battery. Looks like plenty of room to check everything out. It's not really covered up very much. It's a 5.7 liter HEMI V8 pumping out 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to an awesome 8-speed transmission. Really like it. Smooth as glass. To check out my test drive video, I'll have a link in the description. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have your door locks, power windows. The front two are one touch up and down. So you have one touch up, one touch down, and you just gently pull it up to make it go wherever you want. And it is a laminated glass with an acoustic material on the inside. Try to keep the sound waves from entering the vehicle as much as possible. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with a little pad. You also have the power folding side mirrors, which are heated. And then you have the presets for your seat right in here, power seat. Basically the same controls here for the driver as well as the passenger. To the left of the steering column, there's some buttons here. You have the headlight controls with the automatic parking lights on and off there. Now when you have it on automatic, it'll also turn on your auto high beam dimmer. So if you want to turn that off, you just put it on your headlights on. Fog lights are turned on and off here, and then your cargo lights are turned on and off here. You have a dimmer switch for your interior gauges, and then there's one for your ambient lighting in the vehicle. If you're interested in that, you can check out my night video. Adjustable pedals, so the accelerator and brake pedal can be adjusted in and out. And then you also have an electronic parking brake right here. And this year, Ram has a tilt and a telescoping steering column. So with all the adjustments, the steering column, the pedals, the seat, should be able to get comfortable in this Ram. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out. And very impressive vehicle. Seats are comfortable. Now I have the seat all the way back and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall, just to give you an idea of the possible leg room here. And it's too far back for me really to drive. I guess I could if I had to, but I mean I could put my legs completely straight out. And knee room is fantastic. So it's a really, really roomy and comfortable. The seat's very comfortable to me, especially with the four-way lumbar adjustments. That's really nice. So looking at the steering wheel, it has a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and it's heated as well. But check it out. Look at this bottom portion. It has this really thick part. It's much thicker than really any other truck I've seen. Really thick there, and then it gets to more of a normal thickness, but it's all soft to the touch, and it's really comfortable and feels good to me. I really like the Ram has always done a good job in my opinion as far as the steering wheels, and this is no exception. But that thick part at the bottom, that's just really interesting. So your cruise control is here on the right side, and it has a volume on the back of the steering wheel. It's designed where your fingers can go right here, adjust the volume, and then has a center button to change through the audio source like AM, FM, you know, different media sources, that kind of thing. And down here is you can limit your maximum gear ratio. So if you want to downshift, use engine braking, you can do that here. On the back of the steering wheel on the left side is changing through your audio tracks or your radio station, and then there's a center button for changing through your presets on your radio only. Bluetooth controls, once you pair a phone, you can answer calls, hang up here. You also have a very advanced voice recognition system. And these buttons correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. Turn signal and windshield wiper controls are here on the left side. Okay, so these gauges are impressive to me. So you have your RPMs here on the left side with your engine coolant temperature. On the right side is your speedometer with your fuel gauge. It has a little arrow next to the pump showing you which side your fuel door is on, which is nice. But right here in the very center, at the very top, you have a illuminated Ram name, which is looking cool. and the rest of it's a screen. So even in these areas here, that's a part of the screen, it has a little separator there, but this is all, you know, one screen that you can customize. So all four corners, you can customize whatever you want on each corner, including these little gauges here. You can customize this side, that side. You can also customize the shifting, the odometer if you want to make that disappear, however you want to do it. So let's go ahead and use these buttons here. Right now it's showing a big digital speedometer there in the center. I'm going to scroll down. You can see that's part of a menu system. So the speedometer is number 1. Number 2 is vehicle info. Starts off here with which it happens to be in the tire pressure. And we can scroll to the right or left and get more temperatures and pressures, whatever we want to look at. Also has a gauge summary, which is nice. And it goes back, there's your time, and then it goes back to your tire pressure. Scrolling down goes to your fuel economy. So you have 2 of these, so you can reset those independently. It gives you your range, current miles per gallon, and your average miles per gallon. Scrolling down again, your trip info, so it shows your miles driven, average miles per gallon, and the time it took to drive that distance. You have 2, so you can reset those independently. Scrolling down is audio, whatever your radio is doing. Stored messages will show up here. And your screen setup. This is where you can change those things on the corner. So as I scroll through, you notice it illuminates the one that we're on. Upper right, upper left, lower right. You can go into defaults. You can go to left side, right side, current gear, odometer. You can set up favorite menus. Then you have the top center. So let's go to the upper left and let's just see what's available. So we have none, compass, outside temperature, time, range to empty, average fuel economy, current economy, trip A distance, trip B distance, oil pressure and oil temperature, battery voltage, transmission temperature, coolant, oil, all that stuff. So just give you an idea of you know, what's possible in these little customs, you know, how to customize the screen and what is possible to customize. So I thought that was a really neat way of doing it, and because everybody has their preferences. So really the center portion is the main you know, visual reference point, in my opinion, as far as when you're driving. You can set it up the way you want, and these gauges here are kind of extra. Of course the fuel gauge, you'll need that. But yeah, this is really cool. Okay, so check out the center stack. Has a little storage pocket here on the top. Put some sunglasses or whatever. And it has a little rubber piece here that's removable. You can clean it, put it back in. You also have a 12-volt power supply with a key on it, letting you know that it turns on and off with the ignition. Okay, so here is the touchscreen, and I think that Uconnect system is really easy to use, and it looks really good. The resolution, the clarity, everything about the screen looks great. So we have the icons across the bottom. We start off with radio, AM, FM, satellite radio, your presets there at the very top. You can adjust the audio here. And this is really cool, so you can adjust it the way you want. You can always put it back in the center. Go to media. There's nothing available right now, but you actually have a CD player. I think they're bringing back the CD player. USB 1, USB 2, USB 3, Bluetooth, and auxiliary inputs. Climate is your next icon. So temperature for your driver and your passenger. You can sync those if you want. You have your fan speed, where you want the air to blow, your front and rear defroster, and all that stuff here. Recirculate the air. And it has a little link that goes to your controls right here, so we can click that and go to the controls. I'll show you that in just a minute. Next is your apps. So we mentioned the controls, which is here, but let's say we wanted to change that. This is a really cool feature. While you're driving, you can look at the backup camera. So this little icon there, you can even zoom in and get a closer shot of where you're going to back up to a trailer. But let's say we want to take that and move it down here and swap the controls. So now it takes the controls out and it puts in the backup camera icon. So you can customize these icons down here if you want. So let's go ahead and put the controls back. You also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities, and you can set that up when you plug in the actual device. So let's hit the controls. This is where we control the heated seat, vented seat, and it's a 3-stage, high, medium, and low, and then you have a heated steering wheel as well. You can also go to your backup cam, and this is where you can go into your settings too. So your settings is all your vehicle settings. Let's say you just wanted to change, you don't want it to beep when you lock the doors, that kind of thing. There's a lot of settings to go into, and you also turn off your mirror dimmers, an auto dim rear view mirror, which you can turn on and off right there. It's on now. The next is your phone. Once you pair a phone, you'll have access to your phone book, recent calls, and favorites there at the very top, and it'll have your caller ID there in the center. You can also transfer back to your cell phone if you want to have a private conversation and not through the loudspeakers. Then you have your settings. We already saw that, but there's a little icon here for, directly going there, which you can change if you wanted to. Alright, so that gives you an idea of the screen here. Always, you notice it has the clock here at the top, outside temperature, and what your climate control temperatures are set. So if we change that, that's the volume. If we change that temperature, as you can see, it gets a little bit bigger, we can see it, and they're synced, so now they're both doing the same thing. If we adjust the temperature on the passenger side, it unsyncs them, and now the passenger has a separate temperature from the driver. Okay, so your volume tuned through the stations, and has this grippy rubber knob, which is nice, and you can mute the radio. Your four-way flashers are here. You can always turn the screen off if you want to. You just tap it to turn it back on. And then your heated and ventilated seats can be controlled down here as well. So you have high, medium, and low on the heat. Same thing with the ventilation, high, medium, and low. And then you have on or off for your heated steering wheel. It's just basically on or off. Driver temperature, passenger temperatures here. Now these are some redundant buttons. You don't have to use these buttons. You don't have to go into the screen either. So you can use them however you want, whichever is more convenient for you. To me, these knobs are easier, so I don't have to go into another screen just to change the temperature slightly or whatever. Front and rear defrosters, all that, your mode, your air conditioning, and the automatic is all controlled right here as well. Alright, so you have these kind of a retro truck looking buttons here, so you can turn off your traction control. And how these work, you just basically push it to turn it off, push it again to turn it on. Default will always be on the traction control. Tow and haul mode, same deal. You can turn off your rear parking sensors. You can turn off your front parking sensors separate. So depending on what you want, you can turn off your back, leave the front on, whatever you want there. Okay, so over here is your shifter. So you notice all this is open. This one has the automatic, of course. So you have a kind of a minimal dial here to change gears. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in reverse. Now two things will happen when we put it in reverse. One is the backup camera will activate. Now it does have the active guidelines there. So as I turn the steering wheel, it's going to show me the estimated trajectory of the truck as I'm backing up. And then of course we can always zoom in to the trailer hitch basically. The other thing that happens is the parking sensors activate, and you see that you have a visual reference here. So not only will it beep at you, but it will also give you a visual indicator of where the object is, front, back, left, right, side to side, whatever, in the middle, which is handy because if you can't see the object, then it gives you an idea of where to look. Your four-wheel drive controls are here as well. Two-wheel drive, you have four-wheel drive auto, so it's going to engage four-wheel drive when needed, and then you have four-wheel drive high and then four-wheel drive low. So it's simple as pushing a button here. There's neutral, there's drive. Now if you stop the vehicle, you get in the vehicle and it's in drive, and you push the start button and turn off the vehicle and try to exit, it's going to automatically put it in park, but it will leave the accessory on and give you a chime and let you know, hey, this vehicle had to automatically be put in park, and the AC is left on for that reason. So you have to push the button again to make sure you turn the vehicle off. But it will keep it from rolling by doing that. All right. So down here, you can see you have this wide open space, and there are some USB inputs here. So you have the regular USB, you also have the USB-C and auxiliary inputs all here. Lots of USB ports, it's really nice. You also have a 115 volt power supply here on the right side, AC power supply. And a big drawer, so we push this button and this drawer pops out, snaps right in place, so it keeps it out. If you want to keep it out, you can do that. It's not going to slide in and out so easy. And it's a nice big pocket. It has a rubber liner that you can take out, put back in, clean it, and you have places to put coins here. And this is rubberized, so the coin holder is rubberized, and so that way that, you know, the change is not going to rattle around so much. And this is, you know, easily taken out and clean it and put it back in. Okay, so we have some cup holders here. Now this is part of the seat, but it's also an armrest when you have it flipped down. So it's very soft. It's big enough to share with your passenger. It has a stitching on it. And it has a little place to prop up cell phones here. Then you have your cup holders, and they have little places to accommodate for different size cups, basically. And it's open in the center. So if you want to use it for other things besides cups, or you can put the handle of a mug or whatever there. Now this lifts up, and you have a storage space here with a USB port. It also has a place for wires to go in and out of this compartment with little wire keepers in place, so that's nice. So we can lift up this whole thing if we need to use a center passenger, or if we just want to lift it up out of the way. You can lift it up and it snaps in place. You can always release it by pulling the strap. So now we have a center passenger capability and some storage space down here. Now this center seat lifts up, and we have a storage compartment here as well. And there's your CD player. So this is an optional CD player, and that's where it's going to be. So it has a auto dim rear view mirror, like I mentioned before, but it's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor. And the side mirrors are also auto dimming. So you can see that one and this one are both auto dimming. Okay, so right up here, there's a place to put your shades, and it has like a felt, like a plush kind of felt. This is kind of attached to the surface, so it's like a part of it. Then you have the tap lights here, little LEDs here and here. We can turn on all the interior lights by pushing that button. We can have them, to where basically if you push this button, it's going to make it to where when you open the door, the lights will not turn on, but you can turn that feature off. Here's a button to release the tailgate. So if you want to release the tailgate here. So if we release the tailgate, it also lets us know. So I'm going to push that button, release the tailgate. Now we have an indicator letting us know that the tailgate is released right there. So if our tailgate's down, if we accidentally lower it or whatever, if it's not fully engaged, closed, it will let us know. Sort of like if we have a door open, it's going to let us know there too, in that same spot. So this button is for the sliding rear glass, which I'll show you that in just a minute. And here's the visors. They have mirrors and lights, a little clip there. The HomeLink garage door opener controls are up in here, and they're backlit too, so you should check out my night video if you want to see all this stuff. at nighttime. You can slide this out, so that way you can use the side a little bit better for the side windows. Okay, so let's look at the visibility and the sliding rear glass. So let's start with the sliding rear glass. Go ahead and open it up, close it, and the visibility is pretty good. I mean, you can lower those headrests like I mentioned before to help out, because they do get in the way right now, depending on if you have passengers, of course. But overall, you know, with the side mirrors and everything, it has pretty good visibility. Of course, you have the camera, the blind spot detection system, the parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, all that stuff to help out as well. Alright, before I let you go, you got to look at the window sticker here. So you can check it out. 2019 starts off with the base price, colors, engine, transmission, standard features, interior features, exterior features. You can use the pause button if you really want to read it in full detail. And then the optional equipment starts here. So you can see it has quite a bit of optional equipment. And then you have your full price. And fuel economy is there. I'll have all these features listed in the description too if you want to do a keyword search. Alright, so there you go. 2019 Ram 1500 in the Laramie trim level. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann, Underwood, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina. And I'll see you guys next time.